And good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're from. I have my beautiful cousin Simona here with her son
Hi.
Mateo. They are in the Canary Islands of Spain, on the beautiful island of Tenerife. Right? Simona, say hi to my friends.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. We're going to give people a few minutes to roll in, and I'm going to say hi to some friends that are here. And secret agent. So this is my friend from the UK, from England. So hello, thank
Okay.
you for being here. And we have June. Hello, June. Hello again. Be back in a few. Can't go. Can't wait. Going to be a great video, no doubt. Thank you, June, for being here. And Sylvia, ciao a tutti, she says. And here's my beautiful friend, Auctions for You. Thank you for being here. T, I always appreciate the support. And Bobby, hello, Bobby, and Never Ending Saga. Hello, buddies. Hello, Courtney, Little Bunny Fufu, Michelle, and everyone else that's come in. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. So I want to just quickly just say a few words about talking about the epidemic. If you people can please not write the words in the chat, because YouTube is not liking people that are writing the words, because they don't want like rumor spread. So if anybody can refrain from, and if anybody does see the comments with the words of the epidemic. And Simona, I did really talk to you about it, but we're trying not to say the name of the epidemic. So yes,
Okay.
yeah, so if you can, please not use those words, that would be great. And
Okay, no problem.
yeah, so she's turning her head because the speaker is between the two of them, and
Yeah.
they're both gonna stay and chat with us. Oh, okay. It,
No,
it doesn't matter. You can do that if you want to share with Mateo. That's fine. Um,
no problem.
okay, so tell us what's going on in Spain, especially on your island.
Here now, from yesterday or the day before, we have a state of alarm. It's called. So we are like Italy now. We have to stay home, going out only for grocery shopping, for pharmacy shopping, and to go to work and come back home. So we can't visit anyone. We can't go for a walk. We have to stay home.
Which is basically the same thing that's happening to us here in the United States. But we do hear a lot about, what's going on in other countries. I just want to tell you guys, I want to show off a little bit and tell you guys that Simona speaks 5 languages. Five. She's been on the island in the Canary Islands she was born in Milano, and she moved to the Canary Islands 29 years ago, right? Is that correct? Yeah,
Yes,
29 years ago.
1991.
Her and her husband moved there 29 years ago, and 5 languages. So, okay, let me see if I get it straight. English, Spanish, French,
Yes,
Italian,
yes,
and German.
yes.
Isn't that amazing, you guys? She's fluent in 5 languages. How did you learn all those languages? I'm curious.
Well, I've been in a German school since I was 5 years old. So German was the main language there. And then we learned English and French in the same school. And Italian was my mother language. And then when I came here in Spain, I didn't speak any word of Spanish, but living here, I had to learn it. So
So,
that's the fifth.
just out of curiosity, when someone speaks to you, what language? Like, I know with me, there's certain words that I, even after living in this country for 50 years, my mind processes them in Italian, and then I'm like, uh, sometimes, is there a certain language that your mind processes the word more naturally?
Yeah, well, Italian and then Spanish at the moment,
Italian and
because
Spanish.
it's yeah, is there are the two languages that I speak every day.
Isn't that so neat, you guys? Imagine 5 languages. And so Luigi, who's my cousin, Simona is married to Luigi. Her and Luigi own a restaurant on the island, and you depend mostly on tourism for your restaurant.
Well, our restaurants in the specific, no, because we are in the mainland, so it's not on the coast on a touristic town. But we work with local people.
Oh, it
But
is
this
with
is a
local people.
chain. Yes, people who live here. But this is a chain, so the island is mainly for tourists. The economy is touristic, and so people work in hotels, in bars, restaurants on the coast, and now there's no tourism here because we closed a little bit the plane traffic, and that's bad because now from today all restaurants, all bars, all cafeteria, they are closed.
So the
For 15
airplanes, the airports are closed.
Well, not completely, but the traffic is 50% shut down. So, and I think, well, what I heard is that if you fly from Spain to any other country, they don't let you in. So, or if they let you in, you have to be on quarantine for 15 days. And that's why I don't understand how till today planes are still landing from England, from Germany, from France, because they know that they won't be able to go back. So I don't know.
So so in this country, if you are a U.S. citizen, you can fly home. They're just not letting, from what I
Yes.
understand, they're just not letting any other traffic coming in. Is that how your airport is? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Well, the traffic, international traffic, has been cut in half. It's
Cut in half.
50% now. Yes, and there are zones that it's difficult now to catch a plane from Madrid to come here, because Madrid is one of the main centers of this disease, and that's difficult. So I think the traffic inside Spain is still possible but reduced. Today I've to the airport traffic in Tenerife, and there are still planes coming from other.
Sorry, Donna, it's coffee time.
No.
Yes, I wish you were making me a little cup of coffee, Luigi. I would love one of your little cups of coffee.
And then I've seen that planes are coming here, so I don't understand, because now everything is closed. If you're a tourist and you go down in the Playa de las Americas, that's the main touristic center here in the south of Tenerife, you have anywhere, you can't go anywhere because everything is closed. Shops,
But you're seeing planes coming in. You're seeing planes flying into. Yes, and now
this morning there were planes coming in.
Okay, and so like Matteo, he goes to school in Madrid. So can he get a flight? He can get a flight back to Madrid. It's 2-hour plane ride. You said it's back to Madrid. He can get.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could get a flight, but we managed to bring him here 3 days ago because he had no school. School was shut down, and he had no school, and we preferred to have him near.
Of course.
In quarantine, but near with us.
Yes.
Instead of being 2.5 hours away by plane.
Yeah. So when
So
is
we
his
are all together.
when is his school going to resume? Have they said yet?
They said 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Say here they said 2 weeks. They put a limit, 2 weeks. I think it's more psychological than anything else, because you have, as a person, to have an end of this situation, to look at an end. And so they say 2 weeks. I don't know if it will be 2 weeks or it will be a little bit more.
Yeah. And you live in an area that's highly dependent on tourism. And there's, lots
Yes.
of do the cruise ships pull right up to port? And
Yes, in Santa
they
Cruz,
do.
in the capital, there are cruises that comes here, and now I think they don't let anyone down, the cruises.
Have you seen any cruise ships in port?
I'm not living there. It's about 80 kilometers, so about 50 miles away from here, from where I live.
Okay.
But normally during the week you find 2 or 3 different ships in the port of Santa Cruz. And normally the tourists are coming down, making shopping. They have some tours with buses. But now, even if there is a boat, they won't let anyone down.
Okay, so I'm curious, and I'm sure other people are curious too. And when I spoke to Valentina yesterday, she said that this happened in Portofino when it was the announcement was first made. Everybody here is going crazy buying all the food, all the toilet paper, Cartagenica, paper towels, disinfectant, sanitizer. Our supermarkets here are empty, 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 empty. Did that happen? Did that happen there too? Is it happening, or is that something?
Yes. No, it's happening here too. 2 days ago, when they gave the announcement, everyone went crazy, went to the supermarket. They bought a lot of toilet paper. I don't know why, because nobody understands why this craziness about the toilet paper.
It's crazy about the toilet paper. I don't understand why the toilet paper, like why people are buying all the toilet paper. Yeah,
me neither. It's something psychological. I don't know. Somebody starts with toilet paper, the neighbor sees that, and maybe I need it too. I don't know why, but maybe I need it too, and they buy it too, and it's I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's psychological.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning this morning. I was on a talk show this morning, and somebody was mentioning that people are going into restaurants and places and stealing the toilet paper out of the bathrooms, and like in restaurants and the hospital and wherever else they can find toilet paper, they're stealing it from establishments. So now if you do go to a public restroom, there's no toilet paper in the public restroom.
Oh my!
You still have to carry your own toilet
I don't know.
paper
I don't know
when you
really.
leave.
I don't know. It will be the next money, toilet paper. No more dollars, no more euros, toilet paper. I pay you with that.
Yeah, so you have import regularly to the island. You have import that comes
Yes.
in on a regular basis. So right now the supermarkets
Yes.
are empty, but you'll have refinement that you'll
Normally they are empty, and then the next day they are again full, because we have to think about also this thing. Now supermarkets don't sell anymore to restaurants and to bars because they are closed. So for us, there will be more to buy. And I don't understand this craziness to buy anything, to go with the full charts.
Yeah.
It's no need, really.
It's
no
the
need.
same in this country. It's the same in this country. I don't understand, I don't understand it either. But so supermarkets are closed?
No, supermarket, no.
No.
Supermarkets are open.
Yeah.
Supermarket, pharmacies, and gas stations, the things of first necessity, they are open. Just restaurants, bars, cinemas, theaters, everything is closed. You can't go with your child to a park. That's not allowed now.
So, so I'm very curious about this because I wonder if this will be, if we get to the extreme that, you know, Spain has gotten to and Italy has gotten to, and I hope that it does not get to this extreme. But Valentina said that you need, in order to be able to go out to, if you are working a job that you need to go to, that's a required, you know,
Yeah.
needs to be open, or if you need to go to the pharmacy, or if you need to go to the supermarket, that you have to carry a special piece of paper with your documentation and your information. Has it gotten to that in Spain?
No, here, no. Italy likes a lot of paperwork. and at the moment here, there's no need for such a document. You just need to tell the police if they stop you where you're going, why you're going there. Probably they would take note of your name and your number, and that's it at the moment.
And are they patrolling the streets to make sure that people stay home?
Yeah, I saw videos this morning that of a person in Santa Cruz. She was filming the street, and there were 3 bikers going like any other day, and the police stopped them and fined them.
Do you know what the fine is? Yeah. Do you know how much the fine is?
I heard that it could be from 200 euros and more.
At 200 euros and more.
If it's the first time they have you, it's 200 euros. If you go again and they find you again, then it's higher.
Right. Okay. But no special documentation is needed. They just take note of your name, and they must. So the police cars in my country, in this country, actually Italy is my country, but this country, because that's where I was born, but they have computers inside the vehicles where they can just run people's names. They just put the name in the computer right in the car. Do your police cars have computers in them like we have?
Yeah, I don't know exactly if they have computers in the car, but they can speak with the main office, and then they get the information.
Yeah. So my friend Tiffany from Eat Sleep Amazon is here. She says, I love her accent, as she wrote. And Tiffany, I don't know if you were here when we started the broadcast, but this is my cousin Simona, and she actually speaks 5 languages. So it's amazing. Yeah, it blows my mind that you can speak 5 languages. It's just incredible. Okay, April says our grocery stores are closing at 12 and not reopening at 5 a.m. to restock groceries and clean the store. Yeah, so yeah, they've made an announcement that her stores are closing at 12 o'clock. You know, it's there's a lot of uncertainties, and we hear a lot about things that are happening in other countries, which is why I invited Valentina on and why I wanted to have you on also, because it's kind of nice to hear it directly from a family member or, you know, friend or someone who's actually experiencing it, because we have a lot of news stations, you know, like, for example, like CNN News, which is a news station that, you know, what news stations do you listen to in your house? Like, where do you go to get your news?
We have the national TV here from Spain, La Primera it's called, and that's the national TV. And then you have a lot of private channels, and we normally listen to the news from there.
Yeah, do you trust them?
And then we trust them, but as in any other country, I think you have to go with your own mind and try to understand what they want you to know and what they don't want you to know.
Same in this country. The same in this country.
Yeah, everywhere.
We have like 4 news stations, and you know, some of them are considered like fake news, and some of them are considered like good news and bad news. So it's almost like you don't know who to listen to, because there's so much information out there, and you know, some stations are putting like a little bit of a panic mode. And when I asked Valentina this question, she basically said she doesn't listen to the news. She said she.
Yeah. Well, normally I don't. But in these days, you want to be informed of what you can do and what you can't, because it's important to know. And that's why we try to listen. From Friday, we are listening.
And so I'm curious. So the president of the United States came on and said that he was implementing a special order to help small business owners in the United States. Anytime the government, and I don't mean to sound negative, but anytime the government tries to help, like, for example, small business owners, or for us here in South Florida, when we had the hurricanes, like FEMA, which is a government agency, Federal Emergency Management Relief, whatever it stands for, it was so difficult to try to to try to get them to assist or to try to get any money. I finally gave up. We qualified, but the red tape, the work, to try to get the help. So now I'm wondering about the Spanish government. Have they implemented something to help people, business owners, or
Yeah.
residents in general?
At the moment, they said they will delay the payment of the taxes we had in April, and they will delay it for 6 months at least. But then we will have to see, because, for example, we need something special for the tourist situation, because we are a touristic country, and my example, for example, here in Canary Island, we live with tourism. So we need something special, something more, because otherwise small businesses, bars, restaurants, small hotels, the big chains of hotels like Sheraton, I don't think they will have any problem. But small hotels that now are empty and will be empty, probably they will lose the good season of no, Gigi, no, the good season. Perché no? No. The good season of is.
Cosa stai facendo?
No, non fa.
Ah, Luigi, vieni. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We love Luigi in this country. We love Luigi. He's so funny. No, that's good.
Yeah.
We need to laugh. Simona, we need to laugh. Tell Luigi he's welcome to come in. That's so wonderful.
I am Argurios.
I love it, Luigi. You see everybody laughing in the chat. People need to laugh. People need to laugh. People need entertainment. So thank you, Luigi. And Mimi Resell says, Donatella, thank you so much for having these around the world interviews. Very informative. Yeah, I thought about it the other night. I said, gosh, I have family like here, there, and everywhere else. I'm like, I might as well bring them on, and so we can see firsthand what's going on. So, okay. So you were saying that you depend a lot on tourism, but your restaurant.
Yes.
So this is the trickle effect. It's called the trickle effect because I thought your restaurant depended a lot on Bolo Buddies. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you. I love you. Thank you, Courtney. So even though, I thought your restaurant was dependent on tourism, but in fact it's called the trickle effect, okay, because you cater to people that work in the tourism industry. So if those people are not working in the tourism, then you're being affected, and that's why you had to close your restaurant, because people are not spending the money.
It's like a chain.
It's a chain.
Yes. If everybody's working, then everyone has money to go out and to go eat out once a week or twice a week. Or if you don't work, if you are unemployed, because from 50 people the hotel needed, now they need 25, and 25 are left home. So these 25 won't go out once a week. Maybe they will go out once a month. and that's
Yeah. But you
bad for everyone.
But you really had no choice. You had to close the restaurant, even if you
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You had to close it because it's government, regulated that
Yes.
you had to close.
Now, from today, we had to close. We closed yesterday too, before they obliged us, before
Yes.
it was a law.
Yeah.
But we closed one day before. But now anyone has to close. Everybody is closed.
Did you see the video that's circulating around the internet in Italy? They're standing in the balconies and singing. Did you see that video?
Yes.
Are they doing that?
Yes,
Are
yes,
they
I
doing
saw
that in
them.
Spain
Here in
also?
Spain, they made another video. We are in our homes from yesterday, so not so long as in Italy. But yesterday here in Spain, there is a play. There's a game that's called Bingo, and they were playing bingo from the balconies, calling numbers and laughing, and yeah, it was really hilarious.
It was really, that's cute. See, people get creative, and I was
Yeah, and yesterday at 10 o'clock there was like an appointment that everybody had to go on the balcony and clap their hands for the doctors and nurses that are working hard, more
that gives me
shift than they
goosebumps.
had to do.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. Could you hear the clapter throughout the?
Well, we are in a small town, very small. But in Santa Cruz, the capital, yes, there were videos, and that was happening.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Have they announced a shortage? Yesterday, somebody was talking about one of the major hospitals here in the United States is about to run out of gloves and masks. Is there a shortage in your community?
Well,
island?
here, if you go to a pharmacy, you can't get any masks now. It's very difficult to find. But at the hospital at the moment, they still have. And now what's happening here? Well, my sister-in-law is a doctor in the emergency in Santa Cruz, in the main hospital. And she said they are trying to discharge the patients that can go home, that are not so critical, in order to give more space for the future. Here in Canary Island, in Tenerife, there are not so many cases now. There are, I think, in Tenerife about 60, 65 cases, but they are expecting more. So they are preparing themselves for something that can happen. Better to be prepared and not use them than to be unprepared, and then you can't help anyone.
Yeah, that's and what about in Spain? Do you know, like in Madrid, how many cases they've reported?
In Madrid, there are more than 400.
400? And have they closed?
4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
Wow, yeah.
We just 4,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many are in the United States, but I know just in South Florida, where we live. I think it's the whole state. Gosh, I don't know if it's just West Palm Beach now or all of Florida. I saw numbers like 100 and something I don't know if that's all of Florida or if it's, I don't know. I try to stay away from the news as much as possible because, it's, you do, it is very, very scary. Like yesterday, I was reading another report, maybe on Facebook, I don't know, but people are buying all the baby formula, for babies.
Yeah, for the milk.
That's terrible. People are hoarding baby formula. I mean, I know if I had a baby right now and my baby needed baby formula, not every mother can breastfeed their children. Some elect not to, and some just can't because of whatever reasons, medication or health reasons or whatever. And imagine that there's a shortage on baby formula. This is your baby. I mean, you have to feed your baby formula. Have you heard anything like that? A shortage of babies?
No, here I have no news about that.
Yeah,
No.
isn't that's crazy? Like the things that people are buying. So Simply Dana says 110 cases here in Florida, 39 new cases overnight. So 110 for all of Florida. And when you think about it, that's pretty good because Florida is very big. But Florida is a big state. So 110 cases, but 39 overnight.
It's almost 50% more.
I know, that's not good.
In one day.
Yeah.
If you think they said you could infect, every person could infect 2.5 persons average.
Yeah.
So this is exponential. It's like going up very fast.
Yeah, she just wrote, and there you go, one more just now. She must be watching the news. There must be another case that just that was just reported, and then also, I don't know if you received this, but ABC News last night said that they finally now they know through testing that the virus can live on stainless steel surfaces for up to 3 days. That's very scary when you consider.
Yeah, they say it depends from the temperature, from the surface, and here they say that's an average of 12 hours, and that's why you should. Here, people are recommended to go out with gloves when you go to the grocery store, to the supermarket, and you take a chart. Everyone touches it. It's not sanitized and anything. So you should go with gloves, touch the things that you take and nothing else. And then when you go out, you should throw away your gloves. And when you arrive home, you should sanitize the things that are brought home, because you never know.
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat know? I had heard on the news that they were closing Disney World on Monday. That Disney World was going to be closed on Monday. I don't know if anybody in the chat heard that or not, if that's been confirmed. But someone said in the chat in Las Vegas, the Mandalay Bay, which is one of probably the biggest hotels, right, in Las Vegas, they laid off 3,000 employees in Las Vegas at one of the big hotels. Yes. So Chris in the chat said, yes, Disneyland and Disney World are both closed. All Disney parks. Yes, it's confirmed. Wow. So, for Disney World to close is really like huge. Like that's huge. It's yeah. All Amazon.
We have a water park here, very important. And they say one of the best of the world. It's called Siam Park. And it's a very big water park. And another park, it's called Loro Park, the Parrot Park. And they're very important in Canary Island and Spain. And they are both closed because anywhere, nobody could go there.
I know, right?
So
especially a water park. That's the last place.
Yeah.
Speaking of water parks, so you have children, like I have children. Like, what are you going to do? Like, if like my kids just left to go to the beach. I mean, they say, we're not under quarantine yet. So the news people are saying, from what I watch, go ahead and go out, go for nature walks, go to the beach, don't stay cooped up inside the house. Because we're not under quarantine yet. But what are you going to do? Like, Mateo is home, like, what are you going to do with him? But you're going to make him stay home. He's going to want to see his friends, and get together.
Yeah, I know, but he can't. He's very conscious about that. He can't go, especially because he's coming from a very affected area. Madrid is one of the first areas and one of the highest number of cases in Spain. And we brought him home because we wanted to keep him here with us. But he would have been in quarantine even if we weren't even if we are not obliged to be in quarantine, he would have been anyway, because
He came
you
from an
never know.
infected area.
Yeah,
What,
exactly. I don't want him to infect anyone if he has it. And even his girlfriend, he hasn't seen her. They speak on the phone, they make video chats. Now he's in his room playing PlayStation with a friend, like that. He can't go out, we can't go out. We will go out only for buying, for the shopping of food, and nothing else.
How did the friend come to the house? No, I was going to say, how did Mateo's friend, how did he come to your house if you're restricted? Did he walk to the house? Or
when he arrived here, there was not quarantine at the moment. And the boyfriend of my sister, he was in the north, because the airport was in the north. It's about 100 kilometers from here. He was coming here, and he picked him up and brought him home. Okay. And otherwise I would have picked him up by car. Okay. And then he arrived here, and from that moment he's home.
He's home. What precautions did you take as a mother when he got off the plane? Like, what kind of precautionary measures did you take? Did you make him remove his clothes, like outside? Did you make him wash? And
no. He removed his clothes, and we've washed them. But afterwards he showered, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
If he has the virus, we probably will all have it. But he was, even when he was in Madrid, very careful. He was not going out. He went out only 2 times to go to school, and then once in the grocery shop, and that's it. He is not a person who went out in the disco or bars. No. He's going to learn and to study, and that's it. And he says, I don't think I will. I have caught it, because I've not been in contact with many persons. So we hope he's not.
I know. I hope so too. And
anyway, my mother lives next to my house. Well, we have a big garden, and I'm in a house, and my mother is crossing the garden in her house, and we try to stay away from her. Not approach more than 1.5 meters, because we don't want her to catch anything. Maybe if we have the disease, we don't want to have her with the disease, because she's an elderly person, and we know that this affects more elderly persons than younger persons with a good health system. And so she's a bit angry because we are not approaching, and we are not together as always, but that's what we have to do.
Yeah, so you live in a relatively, in comparison, small island in comparison to, places. I can say I personally don't know anybody, thank God, I don't know anybody that is, that has it. Nobody.
Me neither.
You don't know anybody either? No, I don't know anybody, thank goodness, that is symptom, have the symptoms or anything like that, and Valentina was talking yesterday that she was saying that you can be a carrier and not show,
because not everyone is showing the symptoms. So maybe you have it and you don't feel ill, but you still can pass it by to any person near you.
Yeah. And does anybody have any questions in the chat? I've been watching the chat a little bit, but I don't know if anybody has any questions about living life on an island with this, with the epidemic going on. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. So yeah, I mean, I just so I was when I was I know that it's a very touristy. Where exactly do they live on the island? They live about 50 miles, maybe a little bit less than the actual port, like the hub of the island, right? Is that what you said? About 50 miles in, Simona,
Yes,
the coast?
the island you have to think about like a triangle,
Yeah.
the island. We live in the south, like in the south part.
Yeah.
And the main city is on one corner up in the north. And the island is about 1,200, 300 square miles.
Yeah. Now, what about the other islands? Is there what about the other Canary Islands? Is you getting any word of like people having?
Yeah, there's I know there are about 20 cases in the Gran Canaria, in the island next to us, 2 cases in Lanzarote, 1 in Fuerteventura, and I heard about 2 cases in La Palma. But the most cases are here in Tenerife. That's about 60 persons.
Which is the biggest island?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the biggest island of them all. Yeah. Gosh, I just you try not to panic and you try not to be scary. Not to be scared of it, but it's and I was talking about it in my talk show this morning with my friend T. It's if you ever go to a psychiatrist, they always say talk about your feelings or talk about what's bothering you. So I think it's very natural for people to to talk about it and discuss it. And your daughter's pretty young. Does she ask questions about
Yes.
it? Has she asked questions?
She's pretty conscious about all the situation, and she is mentalized that she has to stay home. She can't see her friends, and she's playing with us. She's very creative, and she's inventing games. She's inventing plays to do. She's painting. She's playing PlayStation with her friends, but she's very conscious. And on top, on Wednesday, it's her birthday, so she will be the quarantine birthday girl.
Oh,
And she
poor
can't
baby.
do
She's
any
not going to be able to
party.
have a party. Yeah. Poor
Yeah,
baby.
she's planning a party from months, but now this is we have to postpone everything, and she's conscious. She's okay with that.
Yeah, everything is postponed. So there's talk about in this country that there's not enough test kits to test people. Do you know if that's happening in your country? Like, do they have enough test kits?
No, at the moment we don't have any problem with that. I don't know if they test only persons who shows symptoms. If you think you can have it, they don't test you. If you are ill, if you have cough, fever, and short of breath, yes, they will test you. Otherwise, no. And if you're more or less okay, they will leave you home. They won't send you to an hospital. If you feel it like a normal flu, you can stay home.
Yeah.
You will call your doctor. They will tell you what to do, but staying home.
Yeah, are they telling the public, call before you come to the hospital? Don't come to the hospital if you don't feel, because that's what they're saying in this country too. Call, speak to somebody, and then they'll let you know whether or not they want you to come to the hospital.
Exactly. They have two numbers, one for information, and then you can ask questions, and in order not to collapse, the emergency number, because we know we have this emergency, but we still have accidents, we still have heart problems, we still have the things we normally go to the hospital for.
Right.
And that's why they wanted to put another number to not collapse the emergency number.
Yeah.
Because everyone was calling there.
Emergency number. Yeah.
Yes.
With questions, they were tying up the lines for people that
exactly.
like
So
we have
they were not able to help somebody who had a real problem because
Right.
they were answering questions.
Yeah.
And so they made another number just for the questions and for information in order not to collapse the real emergency number.
Right. Just to go back to the government assistance, the government, the Spanish government is in Spain is offering to the people. We had heard reports, and Valentina couldn't deny or confirm it because she said that she just didn't look into it, but. I had heard reports that Italy was assisting people with no taxes or no mortgage payments, and no, if they have a car payment, that they were assisting the public. They had put in a freeze on it. Did you hear about that on the news? And are they doing that in Spain?
Here in Spain, I only heard that they were delaying the taxes payments, but not, and they are trying to put a part of public money for the tourism, but I don't know how they will do it because they are not telling us concretely what they will do. But even the payment taxes is okay because now we are not having any money, income. So we can't pay anything. What can we pay if we are not earning any money?
Exactly. And I'm sorry for not knowing this, but in Spain they call it the prime minister, right? Is that right?
Yes.
You don't have a president, you have a prime minister. Yeah. So
no, we have a king.
You have a king.
We have the king.
Oh,
yes.
you have a king. Okay, see, I didn't know that. I say, so does the king of Spain come? Does he come on national on TV and address his people? Because our president is coming on TV almost daily now to address the people and let people know what's going on. And
no, the king, I haven't heard from the king, but we heard from the prime minister yesterday, the day before. They had a special meeting yesterday, and after that about 9 o'clock in the evening he went on TV and explained all the measures we had to accomplish today from today for 15 days.
Is that normal?
And
is that normal for the is that normal for the prime minister to speak for the king?
Well, yes, because now it's the king is only a figure. It's not the person who rules. There's the parliament. It's like a democracy, but we have a king.
So the parliament rules, and then the prime minister announces the rules, and the king just sits in his chair with a crown.
Well, not exactly like that, but more or less. Yes.
What does the king do?
He's just a public figure.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's a public figure?
And he's the chief of the army.
He's what? I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. What did you say?
Sorry, the chief of the army. He rules the army.
Oh, he rules the army. Is there a lot of is there a lot of army presence on the island? Do you have a lot of army on the island?
Not that we can see daily, but now we heard that the president yesterday said that probably if the rules are not respected, the army will go on the streets to make them respect.
Yeah, so we have.
They are ready.
They're ready.
Yes.
Yeah, the army's ready. Yeah, I think that in some parts we have the Army Reserve. It's called the reserves. And I think in some parts of this country, the Army reserves they have been dispatched to help. They help. The community. It's not like it is the Army, but it's
Yes.
like a big Army that goes in, and yeah, that's very, very interesting. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let me just look at the chat and see if anybody has any questions. Pusa Studios is in the house. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining, Marie. Thank you for being here. Spain king is more likely like England's queen, does not have power to make laws. Is that true?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the parliament for that.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Test or no test is just treating the symptoms of respiratory symptoms severe. Oh, there's a good question. In Italy, Valentina said that the first person that was really diagnosed in like her zone was a healthy 38-year-old man. From people that are infected on in your area, are you finding it's just mostly seniors, or is there some young folks that are also infected by it? Do you know?
Well, we started here. The first case in Spain was here in Canary Island. It was a German person in La Gomera, in one of the smallest islands, and he was put on quarantine, but he got well and he was discharged with no problems. Then the second cases, it was an Italian doctor who was here on holiday in one of our hotels here nearby, and that caused the quarantine of the entire hotel. So for 15 days, more than 800 persons, tourists and hotel personnel, were locked down in the hotel.
800 for 15 days?
800 persons, yes.
When did that happen, Simona? When did that happen?
The lockdown ended on Tuesday, so 2 weeks
ago.
before. Yeah.
And so then they let those 800 people out.
They let them on past Tuesday out. So that was before. Now they are all out. The hotel has no quarantine anymore. But it was, let's say, 3 weeks ago that's happened.
Yeah, we had a case here in West Palm Beach, which I have a hard time understanding this. So it was a man from New York City, and he wasn't feeling good, and this was all over the news, and he got on an airplane from New York City, and he came to West Palm Beach, which is where I live. I live in Palm Beach Gardens. It's very, very close proximity, 20 miles. And he got on a JetBlue, which is, Common Airlines, and he came to West Palm Beach, and then when the plane landed, he said that he wasn't feeling good, and I guess they had to call the paramedics onto the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he knew that he wasn't feeling good and he got tested before getting on the plane. He got his test results when he landed. He tested positive. And it was over, I don't know, Dana is in the chat, so she might be able to confirm the numbers, but they let over 150 people leave and said, call us if you don't feel good. Instead of quarantine them like they did in your country, they quarantined the people.
Yeah.
To me, it was 114 people. See, Dana knows the story. 114 people they let off this plane and go out into the public. 114 people. Instead of quarantining them like they did in your country, they said, no, everyone that's on this plane, we're putting you in this hotel and we're going to quarantine you so that we don't spread this thing. And now we have over 100 cases in Florida. That happened last week, I think. Like, that was such bad judgment on the airlines, the FDA, whoever made that, the Center of Disease and Control. I think they are the ones that made that decision to let all those people out in the public. It was just crazy, because to be on an airplane with someone what are the chances of not getting it? The chances of not getting it,
Yeah.
to get
well, it. Well, they were probably not conscious about the situation at the moment.
It's just, yes, it was. This happened 5 days ago. Dana, she's in the chat. Dana, when did it happen? Like only 10 people were told to quarantine. She said only 10 people, an entire airplane full of people just let out. So it's very frustrating to me when I hear like what they did in your country. They quarantined all those people. They need to take, more serious. This happened in Palm Beach. Yes, it happened in Palm Beach. They need to take more serious measures, like they did with quarantine 800. Donna, I don't watch the news, so I didn't even know about the whole story. Yes. Dana says it happened like 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah, it only happened like 3 or 4 days ago. And when you look at all the other countries,
they should have known.
They should have known.
Yeah.
Look they quarantined your hotel 2 weeks ago. They should have known. They should have known better. That's very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
You see here the problem was they put this 800 persons in quarantine, but we still we're receiving each day like I don't know how many planes from all around Europe. And so there was no control about the persons who were coming here. So, okay, we confined 800 people in the hotel. Perfect. But what about the people who were coming to us from Europe, all around Europe? That's why I think we have so many cases now here, because we didn't do any control about this. We are touristic, so it's normal. We want people to come to us, but in this situation, we have to stop this.
Yes,
because otherwise we won't get out.
Yes. Courtney, she had a question. She said, are they offering government assistance to businesses in Spain? Yes, they have implemented a program, is what Simona said. They just have not executed it yet as far as how they're actually going to help. The only thing that they have put a freeze on is they're not responsible to pay their taxes in April. That is a definite. So no one will be penalized for not paying their taxes in April. But as far as government assistance to businesses, Simona said that they're working out a plan. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when I spoke to my cousin in Sicily, Robertina, she's my cousin from, my father's side.
Yes.
Robertina, she said that in Centro, in the center of Messina, they've opened up food lines for people that don't have the money to be able to buy food. She said they have food lines set up where you can go and buy, and you can go get for free flour, butter, cheese, these types of things.
Yes.
When I asked Valentina about it yesterday, I mean, we all know Portofino is Portofino. She said she doesn't know anything about that. She said maybe in Genova, they might have some sort of things.
Yeah.
She said not here. They haven't established anything like that. I know your island is very, for lack of better words, it's high end, it's wealthy, it's a rich, because it has so much tourism in it. But I'm sure you do have some families that,
there are families in need. What I heard at the moment is that, for example, like schools are shut down, they're closed. Normally, not wealthy families were helped by giving food to their children. People who can't afford to pay the school for the food they eat at midday, they will get anyway their food amount for the children, even if the schools are closed.
Okay, they did that here too. They closed the schools, but a lot of there's areas here where a lot of the children, they depend on the food from the school.
Yes, from the school here too.
Yeah. So I heard some talk about they're still going to open the school so the children can have a breakfast and a lunch, and provide meals.
Well, not opening the schools, but they will bring home food for these kids.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going
They
to.
will still give them, or I don't know if they bring home food or if they give the money instead, but they will anyway provide for the food of this in need children.
Yeah, but you haven't heard of or seen any food banks, is what we call them here in this country. Food banks.
No,
No.
at the moment I don't know. I don't know
of any
anything
food
about
banks. Yeah. I wish
No.
Robertina spoke a little bit better English, because I would love to have her on, but she doesn't. She speaks zero English, very, very little.
Okay.
She says hello. Because I think the situation might be very different in Sicily.
Yeah, well, yes, I think it depends of the area, of the needs you have in every single place. And here we are in another country, so we will face it in another way. Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see how it's going.
So Marie Perlette said our local schools are doing a grab and go lunch. So the school is going to be open and they're going to allow the people to grab the food and go. So that's
Okay.
yeah. So that's good. Simona, is there anything that you want to share with us as far as anything at all that you can think of that we haven't covered? I really appreciate you
No, I don't know.
to come on.
I just think that this will be all over the world, because it was spreading all over the world even 100 years ago with another type of disease, and there were no planes. Now we have planes. We just move very fast from one side of the world to another, and then that we have to take care. We have to be careful not to spread it too much, and try to follow our own rules, and try to be respectful with the persons we have next to us, and not for example, here there is a spot going on TV that says a person who cares about you is not hugging you, is just waving to you, because we never know, maybe we have the problem and we will give it to you even by a hug, and I care about you if I don't hug you.
Yeah,
that's what we say here.
Respecting.
And it's a tough thing to do, because we are
very
Italian and Spanish are very similar. We are very touching people. We touch, we kiss a lot, and it's difficult for us
especially
not to do that. But
I know, especially for Italians, all we do is hug and kiss. It's
but Spain is the same. In Spain, in Italy, when you meet somebody for the first time, you give the hand, you shake the hand. Here in Spain, you meet somebody for the first time, you kiss them twice. So it's even more.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes. And that's now it's difficult for us to be distant, to not touch anybody. But
Roberta, I'm trying to think, Robertina and Valentina, they both said that they have you have to say 3 meters. So basically, that's like that's a government law. Like you have to stay 3 meters away from each other. You cannot.
Now we family, we are all in the same house. We can't do that, because anywhere we go, we touch things that another person touched. So in the same house, that's not the rule. But if you go out, you go, for example, to the supermarket, and you have to keep distance from anyone around you, and from the cashier, from the grocery man, distance. Home, no, obviously. But when you go out to work, for example, you have to always keep the distance.
Yeah. Jonathan wrote in the chat, I'm so glad I can fish from my front yard. I'm not going to go hungry. And it's interesting, Jonathan, that you said that, because my husband said that to my son last night. He said, he goes, well, I'm not worried. He says, if we need food, I can just go right down to the ocean and catch some nice fresh fish, and we'll be fine, and we won't go hungry. so we don't have to worry about going hungry in this house because my husband
Yeah.
and my son both are.
I don't think we will be without food because we have food. We have food everywhere, but we have to buy consciously, not go and bring home everything. No, just buy normally, regularly. Maybe a little bit more because you don't want to go on the grocery stores every day, just 2 times a week maybe, but don't buy like crazy because it's not necessary.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think,
And especially in a big country like yours, you have your producers, you have a lot of field, you produce a lot of things, so you won't be without food.
yeah,
There will always be food.
I mean, I think it's really difficult in some countries, like like Robertina, like in your country, do you buy food as you need it? Like you buy fresh food every day? Like we have refrigerators here. We have deep freezers. We have refrigerators in our house. We're kind of used to going and buying a lot of food once a week, putting it in, filling our refrigerator, filling our deep freezers with food. We as Americans, we hoard food. Like a lot of people that I know, they have very big freezers like in the garage, where they keep frozen meats or frozen meals or frozen foods. But in Italy, the refrigerators are very small and people are used to shopping almost daily for their fresh food. And you cook the fresh food that you bought in Mercato, from the market.
Yes.
You cook it that day. And then the next day you go out and you buy more fresh food. Is it kind of like that in your country? Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of like that. But as I say, you can buy maybe for 2-3 days and that's it, but not. I saw some videos of people who were going to the supermarket here, one of the most known supermarkets, and they were buying like there are some big package of meal. No, it's called
meat.
Come si dice la farina? No.
Say it in Italian.
Farina.
Flour. Yeah, farina is flour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have 5 kilos packages of flour, and they were filling up their charts. It's insane. Why?
Yeah.
In 2 minutes, there were no flour. Nothing.
It's happening in this country
Only
too.
3 families of people who were just buying all the flour.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. So
somebody who needs it doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, what's happening in this country too, or what happened is people, as soon as there was talk about this, people went out and they bought hand sanitizer and paper towels and napkins, and now they're selling it online. Like we have this this group on Facebook. It's called the Marketplace. I don't know if they have it.
Yes.
Marketplace. Okay. And it's Facebook. It's the Marketplace. And you can go on there and, it's kind of like a selling site. And there's people on there selling hand sanitizer, paper towels. And so they went to the store, they bought everything. And now it's called price gouging is what the word, they call it, price gouging, where they're charging like ridiculous amount of money. $5 for a little thing of hand sanitizer, which normally cost $1 maybe at the dollar store. Supply and demand, supply and demand. So is Super Dal TV in the chat? Super Dal, hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for joining. So that's a lot of that is going on in this country, and it seems like it's going on in your country too. It's just people are just panicked, and There was something else I'm trying to think of. There was something else that Robertina said besides the food lines. Oh, she said that they're not assisting with anything, like if your power gets turned off, like they haven't implemented anything yet. I mean, 2 weeks without pay for some people that's serious. Not everybody can take
Yes,
2 weeks.
it's
I'm very curious to see what's going to happen, in a couple of weeks. People are going to start losing their.
well. We for example, that who work here in this 15 days, it's holiday, so you are still paid, but you have 15 days less of your 30 days holiday along the year. So we are on obliged holidays. So we
You
have
are.
to take this 15 days holiday.
Yeah.
We get paid like a normal holiday, but maybe you wanted to do holidays on August, now you can't.
Right. Oh, yeah, because that's when you would take
But
the holiday.
yeah, but we still have our job at the moment, so let's pray that we still
Right.
keep it after this problem and crisis.
Yeah, you still have the restaurant. So yeah, you still have a place to go where people are being laid off. Like somebody wrote in the chat, in Las Vegas, people are being laid off, which is going to put a huge strain on the government also, because a lot of people are going to go, and I don't know if they have it in your country. Do they have unemployment in Spain?
Yes.
They do have unemployment where people can register
Yes.
for unemployment if they get laid off for something like this.
You have to be working for 1 year, and you get, I think, 4 months for every year you worked, 4 months of unemployment.
Yeah.
For a maximum of 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know what it is here,
After
but it
2 years,
sounds right.
You finish the unemployment.
Yeah. Okay, well, I would love to invite you back for an update maybe next week. I'll be in touch with you and we'll see, what kind of changes happened, in the next week. And you guys, we're going to sign off. We've been on for an hour and 11 minutes, 26 weeks, Junk and Data Girl. I guess here you can have unemployment for 26 weeks is what she wrote. So yeah, if nobody else has any more questions, we're going to sign off with Simona and let her go back to her family. I want to say thank you so much for coming on, Simona, and thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Gracias, Simonita. Somebody wrote that. Everybody's saying goodbye, Simona, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you guys, we'll see if we can have her back for an update next Sunday at 11 o'clock. I'll be back again next Saturday with Valentina at 11 o'clock for an update of what's going on in Portofino. And we'll be back online at 3 o'clock today for an auction on Auctions for You. And then back again on my channel tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And just want to thank everybody. Okay, we're going to sign off and thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day and stay healthy.